Hello and good morning to everyone. Welcome to my hobby home. My name is Cathy. We're going to start our kaleidoscope table runner. So how we start this, I'm going to have to turn you some so you can see what I'm doing here. Okay. We just turn, we get the first one, flip it over, and it looks like we're just going to sew the edges of this. So let's get up here on our 1/4 inch mark. I'm going to just lower my foot first and my needle so you can see that. And I'm always going to cut it, and we're not going to sew the other side. I misspoke on that. You're going to open it up. You're going to take your next piece, flip it over, get them edges together. You're going to line this up on your 1/4 inch. Now we will be sewing over this other one down here, you know, where these two join. We will be sewing over that. So I don't know if it's probably advisable to press that open. We are going to try it without pressing it open, and then I will do another one with pressing it open just to see if I need to press it open or not. So now we have 3 of the pieces put together. Now this one I am going to press. I'm going to press it open, and I'm going to press that to the side to see how that works. Okay, I have it pressed. It looks really nice pressed too, y'all. That looks cute. These colors are kind of growing on me. I really thought I would probably need some blues, but I think there's enough sprinkle of greens in this to satisfy my need for colors and not all one color hue, you know. It's kind of strange like that I need some blues and greens, and there are some blues, and I mean there are some greens in here, not blues, but there are greens. Okay, it seemed to have sewed over that seam just as nicely as the other, so I don't know, I just like having it pressed though. Okay, well this will be the size of the 4. Okay guys, now what I'm going to do is show you how to put your corner blocks on. What we are going to do is go ahead and match these up. We're on that 1/4 of an inch. We're dropping our foot, dropping our needle. I've got to press this so I can put the other corner on and they'll match up well. Okay, so now I'm putting my other corner on here. We're wanting to make sure we line up real well right here. Getting on that 1/4 inch line. Put that needle in there and let's get this one going. Let me press that out and I'll show you our next step. The next step for us is to make sure we have a straight line here. So what I'm doing is I'm taking my ruler and I'm making my straight line based off of the triangle below it. So let's just go on and trim that off. And then let's turn this, and this one looks like it's pretty close, but we'll still come up here and make sure we're even here. We have a little bit trim. Okay, so once we get these corners pieces done, we will take our rectangle and line it up here. We do want this to be even at the top for sure, because when we open it up, it needs to be a straight line across. Now what we'll do is take another piece to this side, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to extend past it just a little bit because I do have the extra fabric coming out at the bottom. So it will be trimmed away. It will not be overhanging. We're on that 1/4 inch. Now, of course, this would go a lot faster if I did them all at one time, but I want to show you how to do this, and then I'll complete the rest of them off screen and bring you back once I have them all done. Now, see this right here, we have our seams crisscrossing right there, and we need to make sure we're on that 1/4 inch, and we've got those going under there together so it's not a bulk. Okay, that did beautiful. So let me look at my instructions to see once we have our sides. I do need to press, so let me go on and press real quick. Okay, now it shows our next step is to square up the half block. I've got my fabric folded. I have this bottom edges. What I'm working on, it says align it at 5.5 inches. That's 5.5 right there. And then I trim right here. So let's see. I don't normally trim on this edge, so I'm going to turn it over. Now, I know that top is not matching. But this would be easier for me to cut like this. Okay, that's at the 5.5 right there. Let's hope this is right, because too late now because I just cut. Okay, now it's saying a line ruler 1/4 of an inch from the top. We're not going to worry about this. I mean, I'm not. Y'all will realize I don't worry, if as long as it's coming out. I'm not going to complain too much. But now this is telling me to align my ruler 1/4 of an inch from the top. Now this is 1/4 of an inch from the green edge to the outside edge. I'm making sure my sides are even there. And I'm trimming. I'm hoping that's what I'm doing, because that's what I just started doing. I'm pretty certain that's what it said to do, was trim. Okay. So this is a half circle. Now let's see if I can do that again. I'll bring y'all back once I'm done. Okay, now what we're going to do, our next step, after we have our rectangle done, we will sew our border on each side. This will be a leader or an ender piece, so we will have to have one on each side here. So what I'm going to do is just match up my ends. What we'll do once we get this completed, we will sew the pieces together, and I'll bring you back to that, because once you've seen one of these done, you've seen them all, really, because they're the exact same step. So what I'll do is just show you how to do the one, how to put the sashing on the one, and then I'll bring you back when I have the sashings on all of them and we're ready to assemble. Okay, I'm making sure that all of my pieces here are good. Okay, now I will need to press this, and I'll bring you back when I get ready to sew these all together. Okay, I have you back. We are ready to attach our block. I went ahead and did the rest of the table runner so I can just show you how to attach these. You just take, you're going to have these blocks, the circle, you'll have 3 of them facing to the right, and then on the left you'll have 3 of them facing to the left like this. And you will have your center square, of course, in the center. So I am going to attach these here. I'm trying to keep the video from being way too long. That's why I'm completing some of the steps, which it's just a repeated step. I'm not leaving anything out of the video in regards to the assembly or sewing of the blocks. The only thing I'm leaving out is like a repeated step. Because if you see the first step and you're doing this along with me, y'all, I am loving this. I cannot believe I came across this. I saw it in another YouTube video and I had never heard of them. So I thought, well, let me try it. You know, and I looked at some of their boxes and I thought, well, this looks interesting. And I thought, well, you know, I'm kind of realizing I need to get out of my box where colors and prints are concerned, because that quilt I made in the challenge that I completed with Kristen with I See Stars Quilting, she challenged us to use a particular fabric. Well, these fabrics were definitely not something I would have chosen to use, because they're very bright and vibrant colors. And I don't know, in my older years, I'm not old aged, but in my older years, I am liking more subtle, softer colors. But I used that fabric line that she presented, and there is a video in there. It's the Brave Challenge. And so if you want to see it, I do have a video in my playlist under quilting. It's the Brave Challenge. You can check that video out if you'd like to. But I used that fabric line and I quickly became a huge fan of it, and now I can just about recognize any fabric from that artist because it's beautiful. So I'm quickly realizing that just because it's not a fabric that I'm drawn to does not mean that it won't make a beautiful quilt or piece. Look at this. I'm getting on the other side of my light here because this light is very bright. And you can see there's my center square there. I'm going to press this down and bring you back. Okay, so now what we're doing, we're putting the, I guess you'd call this an inner border around the completed runner. So I've already started. I had a phone call, and so I went on and started this while I was on the phone. So here I am. And for this binding, inner border, I actually had to piece two of the strips together to make it long enough to go down the whole piece. And I think I might have mentioned this earlier in the video. I might not have this video. This is my weekend of recording, so I might have stated it in another video and not this one. I have 3 quilt tops that I'm doing. I believe it was this one because I didn't want to put my embroidery stuff completely away, because that is how I am going to be not really quilting my grandson's quilt, but kind of quilting. I am going to be using a quilt design on the embroidery hoop, and I have another video that shows how I did that, and I'm going to be doing that for my grandson's quilt, and I want to get his quilt done like pretty quick like. Now you see I have more than I need here. I will just trim that off because I just put 2 strips together and made a long piece here. What, Oscar? I have a kitty cat up here on my leg. He's interested in what I'm talking about. What, baby? Come here. Oh, goodness gracious. This is my little culprit here. He's like, oh, Mama, pick me up, and I'm in the camera. Look at the camera. You gonna look at the camera? He's not a very lovey kitty cat. He doesn't care to be held. Now that I picked him up, he will probably leave the sewing room because he don't like being picked up too much. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is trim this off. So now what we are going to do is put this on the other edge. And I have a little selvage over here, so I'm going to give it a little extra on this side. I hear you, baby. I have a kitty I think he wants out. Y'all, one moment. Okay, I'm back. You could see a spot in the bottom of his food bowl, and that was disturbing him quite bad. But he is a little rescue, so, you know, when he can see the bottom of his food bowl, he's probably afraid that he's fixing to have a food shortage. And I will be recording pretty soon a lasagna soup for the Souping with Friends this month. If you don't know what that is, I have a prior video that talks about it. But I'll just kind of touch base with you. Modern Homestead Alaska, Jessica, and another YouTuber, one of her friends up in Alaska. They're both from Alaska. They are doing a thing. It's called Souping with Friends. It's almost like a cookie exchange, except it's a soup exchange. You're sharing your soup recipes. And I love soups. I mean, soups is kind of like my go-to, especially in the cooler weather because they're easy to make. A lot of them can be done in the crock pot, which I don't think any of mine are done in the crock pot. They can be. I have a chicken tortilla soup that is done in the crock pot, but it can be done on stovetop just as easy and actually quicker. But if you don't want to have to stand over a pot, you can throw my chicken tortilla soup in the crock pot. And okay, I am going to press this and be right back. And we have this now pressed out. Our next step is going to be to take this strip and put on each end. I have 2 of them here. Or maybe I only have one. Yeah, I only have one. That's some pretty thick fabric. I'm going to line that up. And now this is going to be pretty heavy. So you have to watch when you do this to not let it hang off your machine, because it easily pull you off that 1/4 of an inch in a quick second. So what I want to do here is make sure my pumpkin is, like, if I stood it on the end, it's sitting upright. So I want to make sure when I do the other one that it's done the same way. Okay, so now I will press them out and I will bring you right back. Okay, I have the outer border on the ends put on. So now it's to do the top and bottom. I mean, it is something that is very doable. Do I think this is an entry-level quilting subscription? It could be. If you know how to sew, even if you don't know how to quilt, if you have basic sewing knowledge, you will I think it's easy to figure out. And I mean, look, now granted, I started sewing on this at 6 this morning, and it's, oh Lord, probably about 4 in the evening. But I did stop. I did have to run to the store. So, you know, I was out for a few hours. And I came back and, you know, I had to eat. And, you know, I have not been sewing straight. So this is definitely a project that can be done in a day. Easily done in a day. Because I'm almost finished with the top. But actually, this is something that can be completed in a day. Maybe I should say a more experienced quilter could probably get this put together and pressed out, I'm going to say in, you know, half a day easy. Okay guys, I have got this pressed. This is actually very beautiful. This is the topper of a table runner. I'm trying to clean off my little table here so I can stretch this out. I'm hoping you can see this. But yeah, guys, this is my table runner. I will be doing an update once I get it quilted and finished, bound, and everything. I will do like a real short video showing my projects that I have completed. But if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you have not yet subscribed, please feel free to click on that subscribe button and share my video with your friends and family. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. This is the Kaleidoscope subscription box. It is a bi-monthly or every other month subscription box. You pay 1 month, you get the box the next month. This is my fall box that I paid for in September, got it in October, and I have completed this project until I sandwich and quilt and bind it. And I hope to have that done sometime this next week, so I should have an update coming out for you. I just may put it out as a post and not even a video. But leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. I do respond to each and every comment personally. And as always, until I see you again, have a very blessed day. Goodbye.